بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين. I will continue reading Arousing the Intellect with the explanation of umdatul Ahkam, the book of taharah, the ratio purification by Ibn Uthaymeen. Today we read the 10th hadith. النعيم مجمر عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال إن أمتي يدعون يوم القيامة غرا مهجلين من أثر الوضوء فمن استطاع منكم أن يطيل غرته فليفعل. وفي لفظ للمسلم رأيت أبو هريرة يتودى فغسل وجهه ويديه حتى كاد يبلغ منكبين ثم غسل رجليه حتى رفع إلى ساقين ثم قال سمعت رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن أمتي يدعون يوم القيامة غرا مهجلين من أثر الوضوء فمن استطاع منكم أن يطيل غرته وأينام وتهجيله فليفعل. وفي لفظ لمسلم سمعت خليلي رضي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول تبلغ هلية من المؤمن حيث يبلغ وضوء. النعيم المجمر on Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said, indeed my nation will be summoned on the day of resurrection while being ghurran muhajjalin, yani having light on their face, arms and feet from the trace of wudu. So whoever amongst you is able to lengthen his mark of light, let him do so. So this, and if whoever amongst you is able to lengthen his mark of light, let him do so, is from the statement of Abu Hurairah, not of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you should not lengthen other than what your elbow should enter into it, and if you wash your elbow, it will enter into some of your biceps. There's no problem, because for you to do this wajib, it is sent to another place. Then you can wash your elbow, and if you wash some of the bicep enters, there is no problem. You can wash your ankle, your feet until to your ankle, and if some of the shin enters into it, there is no problem. Even your face, if you wash it, you wash some of part of the head, if it enters to it, there's no problem. But if you are able to wash your ankles without the Allahumma sallim. So that is hadith. That is that hadith. So whoever among us is able to lengthen his mark, let him do so. So this one you don't do with it, because it is the word of Abu Hurairah. Is from the hijab of Abu Hurairah. In a wording of Muslim, I saw Abu Hurairah make wudu. He washed his face and his arms to the point that he almost reached his shoulders. Then he washed his feet to the point that he went up to the shins. And then he said, I heard the Messenger of Allah say, indeed my nation will be summoned the day of resurrection, ghurran muhajjalin, having light on their face, arms and feet from the trace of wudu. So whoever among us is able to lengthen his mark of light on his face, arms and feet, let him do so. From here, whoever among us you is able to lengthen his mark of light on his face, arms and feet, let him do so. This is from the statement of Abu Hurairah. And also in our wording of Muslims, I saw Abu Hurairah make wudu. He washed his face and his arms to the point that he almost reached his shoulders. You see, this one is from Abu Hurairah. It's not from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he washed his feet to the point that he went up to the shins and the shins. Then this is from the wording of the this is from the action of the Abu Hurairah, not of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In another wording of Muslim, I heard my Khalil, beloved friend, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say, the ornament of the believer will reach where the wudu reaches. So this doesn't mean that you increase. This doesn't mean that you increase. You don't increase litro. Increase a litro, but do not increase until you go to your elbow, you go to your knee when you wash your legs, or when you wash your face, you wash all of your head. The two narrators, Nu'aym bin Abdullah al-Mujmir at-Tiqa. This one is at-Tiqa, a trustworthy narrator from the Tabi'in. He and his father were nicknamed al-Mujmir because both of them used to Yujmar the Prophet's masjid, meaning to perform it with incense and perfume. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, his biography has preceded in hadith number 2. A. Subject of the hadith, clarifying the excellence of wudu and its reward. B. Explanation of the words Ummati, my nation, and what is meant by them by them is those who believed in him and followed him. Yudu'aun, yani they will be called for reckoning. Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day the people will rise from their graves, resurrected for the reckoning and the recompense. Quran in the state of nasab, upon being half from the waw in Yud'aun, and it is the plural of Ghar, and al-Ghirra is witness in the face of the host. Al-Ghurra is the whiteness in the face of the host. The meaning is that the nation of Muhammad will come on the day of resurrection with their face shining with whiteness and light from the trace of wudu. Muhajjalin, meaning on their arms and feet there. Muhajjalin, meaning on their arms and feet there is whiteness and light from the traces of wudu. Min athar al-wudu, mean is for ta'lil, cause, reason, etc. And al-athar is the plural of athar. And the athar of something is what comes after it as a result of it. And al-wudu is with the dhamma on the waw. Istata, to be able. Yutil, to lengthen. Ra'ayt, I saw. And the person seeing is nu'aym al-mujmir. Kad, to come close, and to come close. Or biniya. Yablug, to reach. Mankibain is the dual of mankib, and it is what joins the shoulder blade to the biceps. Saqain is the dual of saq, and it is the bone between the knee and the ankles. Khalili, the person I took as Khalil, and the Khalil is the one who love of him has reached the highest levels of love, and what is intended by him here is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Hilya is the ornament made from molded gold and so forth, and what is intended by it here is the ornament of the believer in paradise. Allah Ta'ala has distinguished this nation with particularities in this life and the hereafter. Allah Ta'ala has distinguished this nation with particularities in this life and the hereafter which are not for anyone other than them, and the praise is due to Allah alone. And in this hadith, Abu Hurairah narrated on the Prophet ﷺ that Allah has distinguished this nation with a greater distinction on the day of resurrection which is not for anyone other than them out of all the people. That is, they will come on the day of resurrection with their faces, arms, and feet shining with light and whiteness. This is because of the rest of the wudu which they do in this life as an act of worship for Allah Azza wa Jal, and out of respect for their prayer. Then he says, whoever is able to lengthen the place of that light on his face, arms, and feet by increasing the place of the righteous purification, let him do so. But this is the word of the word of the word of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the narration of Muslim Prophet Abu Hurairah used to apply that by action, and he used to wash his arms to the point that he almost reached his shoulders, and to the point that he went up to the shins. The narration also claims that the Prophet ﷺ read, the moment of the believer in paradise will reach where wudu reaches, and that's sufficient as a reward, as an excellence. Benefit of the hadith: an affirmation of the resurrection of the day of resurrection and that which occurs in it from the recording and the recompense. Number 2, the lesson of this nation as they will come on the day of resurrection, having less on their faces, arms, and feet from the strength of wudu. Number 3, the excellence of wudu, the reward of having light on the face, arms, and feet on the day of resurrection, for doing it, and that the ornament of the believer in paradise will reach where wudu reaches. Aywa. The order to go beyond the point which is obligatory in washing the face and arm and feet, so that alone the face, arms, and feet can be lengthened. Some say this is not called for. Some say that is not called for, because the statement, whoever among us is able to lengthen his mark of light on his face, arms, and feet, let him do so, is from the statement of Abu Hurairah, not from the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this order of going beyond the point of which is obligatory in washing the face is the wording of the of Abu Hurairah, so you should not follow it. Based upon that, he is not to go beyond the border of the face nor beyond the elbows and the ankles, except for a little bit out of precaution, because Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu made wudu washing his arms to the point that he entered the bicep, and his face to the point that he entered the shin. And then he said, "This is how I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam make wudu." Muslim transmitted it. The statement of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, "I had my Khalil sallallahu alaihi wasallam," does not contradict the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Indeed, I free myself to Allah from having a Khalil from amongst you, because that which he sallallahu alaihi wasallam freed himself from to Allah was that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam take someone as a Khalil from the people, not that someone from the people take him as a Khalil. And that is what Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu meant.